Hello friends, I'm Kayla and I'm here for my first TBR of 2024. Now I did post a video about my goals that was a mix between reflecting on last year's, talking about things I want to take forward, and also building this 24 books in 24 books in 24, I almost said 24 books in 24 days. 24 books in 2024. So I'm also going to talk about some of these and where I've slotted them in. I have a couple different vlogs that I'm working on. I also need to pull a couple things from the members TBR jar, which is getting stuffed. Thank you to everybody who's recently joined. I just printed out 200 more, cut them all up, mixed them together, and stuffed them in here. So I'll be pulling one for January, one for February, and I guess one for March. Technically, I should be doing another seasonal TBR when spring is happening. So this TBR is for the next 2 months. I'm not going to tell you about every single book in every single video because I like things to still be surprises. But one thing that I'm currently working on that you're going to see next from me is my dinosaur vlog, where I just read a bunch of dinosaur books for a week. So we've got Jurassic Park. You probably know the plot of that. We have Dino Island, which maybe you don't, but it's also about a bunch of people going and encountering dinosaurs. And then we have Mislaid Parts Half Known, which is the 9th book in the Wayward Children series, where somebody enters a portal and they end up in a dinosaur land. So you'll see a vlog from me soon about all of that. One thing I need to read before the month is through is Everyone on This Train is a Suspect by Benjamin Stevenson, which was kindly sent to me from the publisher. It is the second book in the series of Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. This one, I did finally glance at the back, and it's not about his family anymore, which makes sense. It's about a bunch of writers who get on a train together and they're traveling, and for something, one of them dies and now they have to figure out who it was. I am so excited about this. It's definitely like top tier, most anticipated releases, which also means that it has a lot of potential to disappoint, but I think it's gonna be great. That's not slotted in for a vlog, but it will be in my wrap up at the end of the month. Then let's talk book club stuff. I just recently posted a video announcing the Literally Dead book club picks for the next 2 months. So in February, I'll be reading Out There Screaming, a Black horror anthology. And in March, well, I'll probably wait until the very end of March, so this shouldn't actually be on this TBR, but in March, I will be reading Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Sidanto, which is about a woman living in Chinatown in San Francisco, and she has a tea shop, and she wakes up and goes downstairs to her tea shop to open it up, and there's a dead body, and she's gonna solve the mystery. Then my members have a Besties book club, so we'll be discussing 2 books in 1 live show in March, right when spring begins, because we also have a little readathon happening at that time, and we're going to be talking about Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands by Heather Fawcett, the 2nd book in the Emily Wilde Encyclopedia of Fairies series. And then That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming, which is a demon smut book. I think the live show's gonna be a great time. Another video you might be anticipating for January from me, if you have watched me for years, is I always do booktuber favorites this month. I gave my members early information about this one, but I have officially committed to this idea, so I'll tell you about it. It's that it's gonna be a 4-part series. So let me just tell you one book that I'm gonna read in each of the videos. There's 5 books a video, 20 books. I'll tell you something, at this point right now, I'm filming this like the day before it goes up. I haven't read like anything, so we'll see how this ends up going. One of the things I'll be reading is The Wonder State by Sarah Flannery Murphy. This is about like a group of friends who have all been apart. They get called back together by one of their friends, but when they arrive back in their hometown, she's missing. And it's not a mystery, but I don't think it's fantasy, but I don't think it's general fiction. I think it's like kind of a mix, because the synopsis says something about houses that appear when you need them most. And I don't know if that's like a surrealist implication or if it's like your family's always going to be there when you need them kind of implication. Whatever it is, I can't wait to read it. That book I'm actually not reading for a booktuber. I'm reading it for someone else on a different social media app. So that might give you an indication of what this video series is and how I'm structuring it. Another one I'll be reading is The Vanished Birds by Simon Jimenez. And this is about like time travel. There's this woman who has been alive for centuries, and then she finds this boy in space who's also been time traveling or been alive for a long time. I don't really know how it all works. But time is like trying to steal him back, but she's trying to help him in some way. I don't know, but I've heard it's gonna make me cry. Next up, very excitingly, I will be reading Her Majesty's Royal Coven. I love this edition. It's so beautiful. I ordered it and spent too much money so I could have it. And then it showed up during the process of deciding my TBR for one of the videos. So this is about a secret witchy coven that protects you know, they're royals. Something is threatening like the coven or the royal family, and we have 4 best friends who all are doing something. I don't know. It says a story of ancient prophecies and modern dating, of secret sisterhood and demonic frenemies. Can't wait. And then lastly, this is actually for the BookTube episode of the series. It's The Center by Aisha Menazir Siddiqui. And this is about like this weird institute where people can go and learn a language ridiculously, unreasonably fast. We're following a woman whose boyfriend, I think it's her boyfriend, has successfully accomplished this thing and then tells her about it. But there are like these rules and expectations, and him inviting her into it is like a big deal. And then she probably learns about like the darkness behind the institution. So my reviews for those, as well as 16 other books, will be up soon-ish. This series is probably gonna bleed a little bit into February. Oh, and I often forget to include new releases, like upcoming things that I've pre-ordered. So let's see if there's anything else that I plan on reading that I want to tell you about. Oh, I did pre-order The Partner Plot by Christina Forrest, which is a marriage of convenience romance. They both just had breakups and they think that their careers and their lives will benefit from fake dating each other. I'm not planning on reading too much romance this year, but I was excited about this one, so I ordered it. And then at the beginning of March, Finley Donovan Rolls the Dice is coming out. So I've pre-ordered that as well. That's the 4th book. And Finley is headed on a road trip, a girls' weekend away to Atlantic City. Definitely thought it was Vegas. Anyway, it's gonna be wild and wacky and messy, and I can't wait. There's a couple of things coming out in March, actually quite a few that I pre-ordered, but I'm gonna save that for my spring TBR because there's no way I'm reading those in the next like 2 months. And then once we get into February, I can't tell you my TBR for the main video project, which is reading books published in 1993. I've started a series this year. It's gonna be 9 parts where I'm trying to find a 5-star for every year I've been alive. I already did 1990. The next one is 1993. I don't have a set TBR going into it. I have 1 book and 1 plan, but I don't want to give it all away because I know people might not necessarily want to know going in based on the comments of the video I just posted. So I have no idea how many books I'm going to read for that. I don't know how long it's going to take me to film. Hopefully it will come out in February. And then I think, crossing my fingers, I will have time for 1 more vlog in February. So this is where I need your help. I have 3 different ideas. I will be doing all of these videos over the first half of the year, but I don't know which one to do first. So number 1, you already know the TBR of, and it's where I read the rest of the books on my TBR shelf that I gave a 10 out of 10 for their first chapter. You might remember this video that I reference all the fucking time. And I have 4 books that I gave a 10 out of 10, and I want to read them all in one video. So we have Are You Sleeping by Kathleen Barber, which is a mystery thriller. There's We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix, which is a horror. Mirrorland by Carol Johnstone, which is fantasy. And The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich, which is sci-fi. Naturally, I feel like this is the video you're gonna vote for because I don't actually have a TBR for the other 2, but if the other videos sound more intriguing to you, let me know and I will maneuver them however you want. One of them is reading my most what the fuck books on my TBR. Somebody suggested this in a comment and I thought it was fantastic. There's quite a few books in my, especially in my TBR closet, that I don't know why I bought, I don't know why I own, I can't really explain them. Some of them are just like weird things that I purchased from bookstores. You know when you're at a bookstore and you're hunting for something and you can't find it and you've been there for so long that you're like, I might as well buy something before I leave, and then you just buy something weird and ridiculous and cheap. That has happened to me a couple times, I will admit. So I've got a couple of those. And then there's one book that I don't know why I own that I know would be in this video. It's called Last Kiss by Laura Lynn Page. I hated the first book in this romance duology. Hated it. Read it back in the day when I didn't even like romance anyway. But that one stood out to me somehow, like there was some aspect about it. I think I'm gonna have to reread it, which is horrifying to think about. But I think the vlog process of this will at least be entertaining. But I don't know what the other books really are, so I would be choosing them in the video. That'd be kind of the fun of it for me, is digging through the TBR closet. The third idea is reading, I've seen this trend around, so it's not my original idea by any means, but it's reading books based off of their 1-star review. So it's like going through the Goodreads pages of a bunch of books on my TBR shelf that I want to read and finding the ones with 1 star and the 1-star review being something that makes me want to read the book. Either it's like a really funny review from someone, or they say something in it that indicates that even though they hated it, I would love it. And again, part of the fun of that video would be finding out my TBR in it, so I can't tell you what's actually in that TBR. Tell me your thoughts and I'll make it happen. And lastly, let's do the TBR jar. If you're new, if you're a channel member, you get you get the opportunity. That's so obnoxious. I get the opportunity to have you control my reading for the month. Last year, I read 12 things recommended by 12 of the besties. Half of them went well. Sci-fi really went off. Killed it with the sci-fi recommendations. The ones that didn't go well were ones that were kind of expected, you know, romance, some weirder stuff. But since half of them did get a 4 or 5 star, the TBR jar continues for a whole nother year. We have 12 things, 12 months, 12 besties. I know a lot of people just joined to suggest this. If you are a new member, stick around. We have a good time. Like I said, we have a readathon. We're going to be doing 2 movie nights over the next couple months. One of them is going to be Empire Records, and one of them is going to be Everything Everywhere All at Once. Those aren't technically until spring, but they're coming up. I just love my movie nights. I love just hanging out and getting to experience that with everybody because I don't do that very often on my own time. So this is me procrastinating, pulling again. I do this every single time because it makes me so nervous, but I am gonna pull 3 because like if something is already on my TBR or like I have the opportunity to read a short thing first because like we're already halfway through January, I need to read something I'm about to pull in the next 2 weeks with this giant TBR coming. So the more options, I think the better. I need a minute. I mix this up really thoroughly, don't worry. So even if I pulled right from the top, like it got a really good mix. Oh my god, I have so many in my hand. I don't know why I don't like to look while I'm pulling. Okay, I think this is actually a brand new one because I just printed a bunch of green. What the fuck is that? The dove? Oh, the dove. I thought it said dove in the belly and I was like, where are we going? Is this a Magic School Bus? The Dove in the Belly by Jim Grizzly. I don't know if you'll like it, but I just want more people to read it. Okay. Some Books and Cats, thanks. Let's take a look. Came out in 2022. The cover is fine. It has a high average rating, but not that many readers. It's set at university. We have 2 characters. One is on a football scholarship. The other guy, his mother just moved to Vegas with her latest husband. It's about an electric, dangerous, sometimes tender, but always powerful attraction between 2 very different boys. But it's also about the full cycles of love and life and how they open in us the twinned capacities for grief and joy. Okay. I don't know that I've pulled something out of the TBR jar yet. I might be like forgetting something that I have absolutely never heard of. Oh no, I hadn't heard of How to Become a Planet either. Fun. Now the hope is if I'm pulling 3 things, sorry, I need to refold this one, is like one I've never heard of, one I already own, wouldn't that be great? And one that like I want to read, maybe I've heard of, but I don't own. This is my excuse to buy it. So let's pull something. I'm manifesting something off of my TBR. Something already slotted in for a video. Oh, wouldn't that be powerful? Let go. It's another greeny yellow. This is an older one, I think. Oh, The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. Oh, I forgot to show you this one. Here's this one. The Hacienda, fantastic recommendation. I did indeed really enjoy it. Caitlin, thank you so much. If you are a member and you notice that I've read something that was your suggestion, you can always go back to the video that I'll link down below and leave another comment with another suggestion. Another green. Oh, this is 2. Wait, oh my god, oh my god, okay. Perfect news. This is something that I was considering. It wasn't even on my TBR for the month, but in the video series, this is one of the options, and I was trying to choose between a couple things, and this just made the decision for me. So it's The Book of X by Catherine Lacey. I did read Pew recently, and I quite liked it, and I do own The Book of X. Thank you so much, Nicole. Metafiction, lots of footnotes, one of the best contemporary novels I've ever read. Okay, so that's 2 contemporaries. So that'll be happening in January. That's very exciting. Last one. I don't know why I keep trying to mix it. Sorry. Purple. Oh my god, I also own this one. TJ Power Has Something to Prove by Jasmine Cordillo, because it's set in Kelowna. Oh my gosh, the answer is books. Bestie. Oh, you really just crushed that. Should I go find it? Movie magic. You would never know, besides me being out of breath, that I just had to dig through that TBR closet and move stacks and stacks of books for 5 minutes to find this. But then I also grabbed Biography of the Ex, which was equally hidden. The reason I bought this last year, I can't remember if I actually ever hauled it or if I just stuck it in the closet knowing it would be something I read someday, was because somebody left me a comment, or it might have been a message telling me that it was set in Kelowna, and like I can never find books set in Kelowna. I wonder if that's the same person who suggested it for the TBR jar. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I just proved that manifesting is real. I literally said something that's already on my TBR for the month. I feel like this being YA makes it feel questionable just because I don't read that age range very much anymore, but when I do, I still often like it. And I'll have to integrate it into some kind of vlog. I don't know what that should be. I'm not gonna read a whole bunch of books set where I live again, but I wanna like go the places that it mentions if it does that. So somebody come up with some kind of idea because I'm spent. Oh my god, crazy. I'm very excited to read these 3 things. I think it's like the perfect mix of ideas. Anyway, that is my reading plans for the next 2 months. It feels like an ambitious stack, but I'm very excited to get into everything and share all of the content with you. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you're most excited about me reading if you've read any of these or you want to, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.